Hello, everyone. I said hello way too many times just then, but um, but I want to say hello. That's basically, that's usually how this works, right? Sorry, had to unplug something there. Anyways, what's up? um, it's live stream time. It's that time of the month. It's been about a month since the last live stream, and we've got. Well, usually we always have some news to talk about, which is what we're going to be doing today. But in this case, we have a ton of, like, a bajillion metric ton of news because, well, we have, okay. The big thing is obviously King-Ohger. King-Ohger was revealed, I think, last week. Since then, we've got some new information, some more information, and some, like, scan information as well. So obviously that's the big thing, which is why it's the thumbnail. But I'm saving that for last in this stream because before that, we still have like a ton of information for Geats as well. Like Geats is really kicking itself into higher gear. There's a ton of, not a ton of stuff. Pretty much everything actually that is in these scans is like in the next episode at least. But it's still like kind of a crazy thing to look at. And then even Donbrothers, like, has some info, some interesting info to look at. Usually when it's the new Sentai, it's just like, okay, let's look at a new Sentai, and then it's like a page of like the current Sentai. It's like, look, they're doing finale stuff, but there's still some pretty interesting stuff in these. So, yeah. So we'll jump right into it. First, of course, I want to say hello to everyone. I apologize if I apologize if I'm gonna like mute occasionally because I'm getting over a cough and I don't want to cough into the mic. So if I ever suddenly go silent because I'm saving your ears. So who's here? Hello, Max Films Productions, Emery Miller, Megadong, Emerald Ranger, Hello Cadiant, Eternal Fury, Josh Barney, Neurotoxin says Amogus is true. Hello, Shining Ryusoul, G. Ogorok, Unknown Depth, Otto Otarius, hello Joshua, Blaze, S Magma, Big T Studios, Brian Zeus says King X3 Rangers. That's true, I agree. Hello the analyst, my day has been good so far, because the only thing I've done so far is start this live stream. Hello Mr. Cool Guy Awesome. Hello Ash. Hello Marco Satsu, although he said bye, so bye Marcos, I guess. Hello Adam S. Hello your boy Tezzy. Hello Tatiana. Hello Not a Good Gamer. Hello Toku Craft. There's a lot of people here today. That's pretty epic. Someone asked, how was my Christmas? My Christmas was pretty good. I got you're not gonna hear him. Actually, no, you can't hear him. Those are the ratchets of my Dragon Megatron that I got. I posted about him on Twitter. You can go look on Twitter if you want to see my Christmas present from Mi Familia. I got a big dragon friend. Hello, Hawkillies. I someone sent me the video of you talking about what you were gonna do for Christmas with Majine's actress for me, and then it devolved into the everything else. It's really funny. I just wanted to bring that up. Do I play Minecraft? I don't play it as much anymore. But I mean, I have Minecraft videos on the channel, so I mean that's kind of is proof I did. I do play Minecraft or did play Minecraft. Christmas haul video soon. That was the Geats video. Like that's more of a Christmas haul that I bought for myself, or that Bai bought for me, rather than the actual Christmas haul, which I'm perfectly fine with. I usually don't get a lot for Christmas these days. I don't really care. But I posted my Christmas haul on Twitter. It's the Dragon Megatron. That's my Christmas haul. Okay, so let's Donbrothers. That's what I was trying to say. Let's Donbrothers. So Donbrothers has like a two pages of magazine scans. Before I get into that, actually, I forgot. Images in the description, as usual. Some of these, as you can tell, some of these are going to be like high quality HD images, and then others are going to be like someone took a picture with them on their phone. So we'll be fluctuating a bit between magazine quality images, but it doesn't really matter. You can tell what's happening good enough. So on the right is stuff that's going to be happening in the next episode, and I'm pretty sure it's like entirely in the next episode. Basically, like for a quick second, everyone was like, when these images came out, I myself included, we all were like, oh my god, they're gonna have we're gonna get a Donmura Same upgrade, and Oni's sister's gonna get to use the armor thing. And then we translated it, and then the next episode came out as well. I say we as in people who understand Japanese, so not me. And apparently this is Donmura Same from the future, and Oni's sister from the future. And from the preview of next episode as well, we can see that it's they also come along with Saru brother from the future, and I think they're married. It's Oni from my understanding of like the preview picture and stuff, Oni's sister and what's his name, Saru brother get married in the future, and then they've come back from the future to the past along with future Murasame. So and apparently this ties into the Shina no Naoki Shina stuff, the bunny suit person stuff, because allegedly that's I think the preview wants us to believe that Tsubasa and or Sononi is wearing that bunny suit from the future, and they're the ones who saved Tsubasa from the Juto forest, but then also accused Haruka of plagiarism and then went to watch the Donbrothers movie. Is that I think that's what they're trying to tell us. We'll obviously find out in 2 weeks when the episode comes out. So it's super weird. I kind of like, I mean, okay, at this point it's like Donbrothers throws time travel at us, and I'm like, yeah, that I'm not phased at all. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm expecting this to last all of like one episode, and then we'll never address it again, because like this feels like the Dawn Killer stuff, where they're like, let's throw in 2 killer robots in an episode, and then that's all that happens in that episode. This feels like, let's throw in everyone from the future. But the thing is, with this future stuff, first of all, we've got some cool suits coming out of it. We've got some cool, like, what happens in the future stuff coming out of it. Like, I actually think it's kind of funny that Haruka and Shinichi just get married at some point. Like, it gives us that kind of thing. And then it also ties into Haruka's whole backstory stuff with Shina Naoki. So it's presumably going to be it's either a somewhat useful episode to like the overall story that's being told here, or either way we get to see Oni's sister or someone other than Don Momotaro gets to wear the Goldon armor, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. She even gets the gold horns, and we get a Murasame upgrade in quotation marks, which is also pretty awesome, and he gets a whole bike. Which I see people point out, the bike is funny because it's like he got run over by Haruka by the car in that like latest episode, and then it's like he's like, all right, well, if you're gonna run over me with the car, I gotta get a motorbike. So I think that's pretty funny. So I'm looking forward to that episode, if nothing just to see some pretty cool suits just have at it at each other in a couple in the 22-minute runtime. That'll be cool. So I think I was trying to think. I think Murasame is like permanently in this upgrade, I think, but the 2 Starter brothers and 2 Oni sisters will like upgrade individual. I mean, obviously this is just using the Phoenix, so it's gonna be kind of cool to see two Oni sisters suits. So on the left then, because stuff in Japan goes from right to left. On the left is like vague stuff. On the top we see Senoshi's coming back. To what extent, I have no idea because I can't read that text. But you can clearly see he's coming back, at least to an extent. It seems like that's his I think that's his henshin pose, right? When he like has his arms open like that. So yeah, who knows what Senoshi's gonna do? I'm glad he's not just a one-off character. I mean, he probably wasn't going to be, but he appeared like a month or two ago and then just disappeared, and nothing happened with him since. So it's nice to see he'll be factoring in to something at some point. And then on the bottom, we have the big ol' the Penguin Juto himself is coming into play, and that's all we know. It's all we know is the Penguin Juto. This is what the Penguin Juto looks like. That's essentially where we're at. Is he on this page? He's not on this page. You can see Senoshi. Well, he is on this page on the bottom. And then on the left is more Senoshi. He's gonna be fighting. I think this was Hyakajuki, I think people said. If you translate the text, which would be the Gao Ranger monster. So this is very interesting because well, not only is he coming back and doing stuff, but he's coming back and acting like a normal Noto. He's gonna be fighting a Hitosuki. So I don't know to what I mean, the normal Noto still act like they'll still fight the monsters. So I don't know why he's getting involved with that. I'm very interested to see what they're doing with Senoshi, because he was just kind of there in the episode they introduced him, but it seems like they could do a bit more, and I really like his suit, or their suit, my bad. I think I've been calling Senoshi a him the whole time, and that's my bad. But they were introduced in like the one episode, and then obviously nothing else has happened, but they seem like they could do more. So, and then Penguin Juto is just a normal Juto suit with a new helmet, but it works. It looks really neat. I guess I should say on this picture, because you can't really see the Penguin Juto in this picture. So Penguin Juto looks pretty neat. Someone said Shining Riesel said they're their favorite Juto suit, and I would agree. This is my favorite helmet of the Juto as well. Looks very nice. I mean, actually, I really like the base Juto helmet as well. The Crane Juto was a miss for me. I'm not sure what they were going. I'm not sure what they were thinking with that like big horn thing. But Cat Juto, Penguin Juto, definitely some killer helmets, and the rest of the suit is also pretty neat. So glad we're finally doing something with the Penguin Juto. Let's see. Again, I can't really tell what they're doing here, but we'll see what happens with that. One last thing I want to point out. This is the last Donbrothers picture. Actually, this is Geats. This is a new picture, I believe. This part of me feels like this is pulled from the duel episode with Taro and Sonoi. But I believe it's a new picture, a new image, which is saying that this is like, we're getting into the final battle of Donbrothers or whatever. Which, as I've been saying for a while, I've been saying that I think the Juto are going to be the final bosses somehow. And this is kind of confirming that at least if they're fighting a Cat Juto and they're like, the final battle, then the Juto presumably are the final boss. Because, I don't know, like, Senoshi doesn't feel like a final boss. They were just in one episode. It would be weird if they're like, hey, now you have to fight me and everything's over. I mean, like, maybe there'll be a final boss for sure. Like, they'll have to, like, what do I call it? The Juto, not the Juto. The Noto will probably have to defeat Senoshi in like a big fight, and then after that, like they'll be free. The Noto will be free to like work with the Donbrothers maybe, and then they work with the Donbrothers for the big final boss fight, which is with the Juto, presumably the Penguin Juto in some form. And obviously, you know, the Penguin Juto ties into Jiro somehow, which is gonna be crazy. I don't know how that will work. I haven't mentioned that at all, you may have noticed, because I have no idea. Like, we don't know the extent of that. Like, everyone, there's so many different theories going around. It seems like, at the very least, the Penguin Juto is somehow linked to Jiro. Whether or not it's, like, one of the personalities is the Penguin Juto, but they don't know it, or he has, like, a third personality that's the Penguin Juto, or maybe it's just someone he knows is the Penguin Juto, and he was just randomly folding penguin origami. You know, that seems like a Donbrothers thing to do, so who knows what's happening. I'm excited for Donbrothers, so as I've said, I've been excited for. I've been enjoying pretty much every episode. The latest few episodes, I will admit, kind of been somewhat like duds. I really don't know what they were thinking with the Dawn Killer episode. The Haruka car one was like half of a good one because the Murasame Tsubasa Sononi stuff was interesting, but then Haruka was just driving a car in that, and I didn't understand that. I really like the Santa one though. Like, the Santa one was where it was like so insane that it was like, wow, this is actually incredible. Like when they're all like, well, okay, like the lore of like the Noto are Santa sometimes. Like they'll just go around and give people presents in Santa outfits is really funny. And then when they're like, wait, we need to find the real Santa Claus, and they find the real Santa, the way they find it is Kaito is like, oh yeah, Santa Claus? Yeah, I know him. Me and him, we go way back. And it's like, what? You just know Santa Claus? And he's aware he's a Hitosuki as well, I think. So it's like, you just know about this? And then they free him as Santa. And there's cool moments within it, as I said in other videos. What's his name? Tsubasa using Don Murasame as Ninja Black is perfect. It's so badass. I love seeing all the Robotaros individually in the giant mecha form when they're giant. That was pretty awesome. And then the ending is just, here's Santa, and he flies around and everyone looks up at Santa. I thought one of in retrospect, it's one of probably my favorite episodes in Donbrothers because it's so funny just how it's so cool. Like, we've got really cool moments, and it's also so funny how like Kaito's like Kaito's whole thing is like, I've been a true hero, I'm always a hero. And also Santa's a hero too, because I know him, we go way back. truly beautiful storytelling. So, moving on. Geats. Kamen Rider Geats. How do you guys feel about Kamen Rider Geats? We ended off last episode with a huge plot twist, and now we've got... I mean, we're moving on into, like, the second half of the show, kind of, like, new... Obviously, the whole world's been flipped on its head. We've got new stuff happening, but, like... I don't know, I felt like we've had two pretty complete story arcs at this point, so I think that was pretty interesting. But either way, we're entering definitely like a new era of Geats, and I'm very excited. I think we should move on to a different picture. This picture, should we start with this picture? No, let's go back. I don't know. There's a lot of Geats pictures, but they're like all kind of the same thing. Like, it's like, here's Geats powered builder boost, which is a pretty badass name actually. So let's see, what's everyone saying? Some S Magma wishes Ace was gone. That's very sad. Ace is just doing his best, guys. Come on. So I guess, what is this? This is Geats' powered builder form. Well, obviously the new Buckle's powered builder, because you obviously can tell the other one is the boost, the boost buckle. So powered builder is the new buckle that's going to be appearing in this upcoming Geats episode, and seems like at least for a couple episodes after that. And it's obviously, yes, as people are pointing out, it debuted in the... There's another image about this. Here we go. It debuted in the... I was going to say the Ryuki movie, which is not entirely wrong. The Geats X Revice X Ryuki movie is where it debuted with Kamen Rider Seeker. I don't think... I did talk about this briefly in the last live stream, I think, but we didn't have enough info. Now we actually, like, at that point, we didn't even see the belt pieces, I think. So now at this point, we didn't have a name or the belt pieces, I think. We might have had a name, actually. But now we actually have a name. We have the belt pieces. We know how, like, the toys actually work out. We know how it all works. So this debuts in the movie, used by Kamen Rider Seeker as Kamen Rider Seeker's main form, which is kind of interesting that, like, this power-up buckle is somebody's base form. But, like, at the same time, it's kind of not that unique of a buckle. Like, it is very unique, but I mean, like, if you think about it, it kind of is just like any other buckle where you use it and you get a weapon piece. It's just the difference is the weapon pieces that you summon or can be multiple different weapons. It has, like, the power-up nature of it is the individual... Is that it can summon multiple weapons rather than one weapon. So, there's been, like, leaks about this movie. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about them because... Well, spoilers. Well, these are all spoilers, but those are spoilers that are different, I feel. Those are plot-based spoilers. I'll get to that later, or no, I won't get to that. I just won't talk about it in this video. What I will get to later is the Geats, not the Geats, the Revi and Vice DGP riders. I'll get to that, like, later. But for now, what we're talking about, Powered Builder. So Powered Builder, Powered Builder is showing up. So it debuted in the movie already, because that movie's out. But it's gonna be showing up in the show as, like, a power-up for Geats, a form change for Geats, a thing for Geats. A thing Geats is going to be using, which continues this really interesting trend where they're making... I mean, every rider's base form has been used by Geats. He's used... I mean, I'm not going to go through it all. You know what I mean. He's used everyone's base form. And now in this case, like... Now we kind of have, like, this next stage of evolution where a guy uses... Like, it's a movie item that's someone's base form, but now Geats is just using it as, like, a power-up form in the show. Like, in the show, we're never gonna... Presumably, we're not gonna see Kamen Rider Seeker use this. It's just Geats' form. I think that's really interesting. I think it's pretty cool. What I also think is really cool is I love this. On Geats, it looks pretty cool. Like, the form itself looks alright, but I do really like it. But I love, like, the functionality of it, as I mentioned earlier, where it's not essentially just like a normal raised buckle where you put it in and you get a weapon and stuff. You put it in and you can select different weapons and stuff. So, he has 3 different weapons, as we've seen. We have the little... these are called Gigant buckles, I think. No, I don't think. I know they are. They're called Gigant buckles. So we have Gigant blaster, Gigant hammer, and Gigant sword. I'll address that bottom left one in a second because I don't know what's happening with that. So Geats, the powered builder buckle uses Gigant buckles in order to summon the Gigant weapons, and I think that's really cool. I really love that. Like, I don't know, it's just so it's so interesting. Like, I really think it's cool that he can just summon these little, or all these little Sentai weapon repaints, and with, like, the power of one buckle. I think that's really unique. Especially, I can't wait to see it like used by Seeker in the movie, because I mean we know Seeker's gonna use it like that in the movie as well. So I don't know, it's just a very overall cool buckle. Especially the one weird thing is like as a toy, well not as a toy, just like the Gigant buckle piece seems kind of weird. Like I think it's on this picture. Yeah, the thing on the bottom right is like only, well no, I don't know. I'm like kind of mixed on this because Seeker uses it like as his base form. He uses a Gigant buckle with his base form. And I kind of like that because it gives Seeker like this unique aspect to the form that makes it his own. Because also, if you didn't know, like the shoulder pads kind of changed and he gets like a different piece on the back. So it's like when Geats uses Ninja is functionally the same. Like it looks the same as when Tycoon uses it. So he's like just using his base form pretty much. But when Seeker and Geats both use Powered Builder, they're using them as like two different forms kind of. Even the jingles are different, like going off the toy. So Seeker gets like some extra construction parts, and even the mouth plate, like the bottom piece, it like extends open when Geats uses it, and it's closed when Seeker uses it. I don't know. I think that's kind of an interesting little twist they've added to the forms, I guess, so that we can have two riders using the same buckle. One of them's his base form, one of them's just a power-up form, but they can change it like a little bit visually, and it kind of differentiates it between the two. I think that's neat. So, Geats Powered Boost Builder. What's Seeker just uses, I think it's just called Powered Builder form, actually. I don't think the Gigant buckle like changes any of the form names. Like it's still like if Geats, I think there's a shot here somewhere. Yeah, here Geats is just using only Gigant or Powered Builder. And I believe when Geats uses Powered Builder, it's the same it's called the same thing as when what's his name? Seeker uses it. Like Seeker has the Gigant buckle attachment, but it's not Powered Builder Gigant or something. It's still just Powered Builder form. And when Geats uses it like this without the Gigant buckle, it's still Powered Builder form. So I guess it just a visual it's just a visual flair to make Seeker look a little different when he uses it. So I don't know. So yeah, the other thing, if you follow me on Twitter, I was like screaming about this because I'm like, what's happening here? So we're gonna be getting like a new different Gigant buckle. This is called Gigant Shooter. There are sounds, people with the toy have already like pushed all the buttons and stuff, and there are sounds in the Powered Builder buckle, obviously for Gigant Blaster, Gigant Sword, and Gigant Hammer, which we've been looking at. But there's also sounds for Gigant Shooter, like the Magnum Shooter, Gigant Dueler, like the Magnum Dueler, or sorry, not the Magnum Dueler, the Ninja Dueler, and Gigant Breaker, like the Zombie Breaker. Those sounds are in the toy. And obviously one of them we can see already is Gigant Shooter. This is definitely the Gigant Shooter buckle. So, I mean, what I'm assuming is happening here is that it seems like they're using Geats is going to be using Powered Builder like as his base form essentially for the next few episodes, and I think they just wanted to have him return back to his shooty like his sharpshooter personality thing. So they've made this weird little buckle that will let him use Powered Builder and also shoot people. I believe that's literally just the entire thought process behind this from like a marketing toy perspective. Even Universe, I still have no clue how, like, because I mean this is probably going to be a different like buckle thing, but I have no idea where it's going to come from. Like, how are they going to pull out a tiny Magnum Shooter buckle? Like, will it just exist? Does it come from the normal Magnum Shooter? Is it like, is Powered Builder like able to shrink the normal buckles down to like just a weapon or something, so then he can He can shoot in powered builder. Who knows? A lot of people, some of you have also been pointing out, can't Geats just put the Magnum buckle in the second slot instead of the Geek Magnum shooter? Well, okay, there's like multiple things to this. I'm assuming like maybe he doesn't have Magnum, so he can't use it in the other slot. Also, maybe it's like this thing I've been talking about where the buckles actually can't be mixed in the show, so he maybe can't use Magnum in powered builder. So this is just the like this is the only way he can use Magnum with powered builder. Puts it in the thing. Alternatively, I don't know. There's a lot of things. There's an AI in the chat. Hello, AI. Can I assist you? Do you need help at all? Let me see. Oh no. Okay, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Anyways, we're back. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what's happening with this stupid thing. But Power Builder, I'm excited to see it being used. A movie form having a role in the season proper? What is this madness? Well, I mean, if we go back to revise, the what's it called? Neobata was in the show. If you go back to Saber, Falchion was in the show. So Reiwa's kind of been doing pretty well, including the movies in the show. The big difference here is this is not a premium band item. This is like a retail item. That's the big thing, I feel. So powered builder. Also, someone point out when Geats uses it, the left shoulder. This is definitely not an augment of boost, because you can see in this image he's not using boost. The left or his right shoulder pad is the boost shoulder pad, like repainted. I think that's pretty funny. Not sure. I mean, I assume it's just like, hey, let's throw on a shoulder pad and there we go. It's kind of cool. So, other things happening in Geats. Actually, this is like the only other big thing happening in Geats is we're getting more riders. And this makes me so happy. Because I saw a few people, or I've seen a few people for a while were thinking that what would happen? Well, it seems like the way the show was going was that like the DGP was gonna go away. So in the new year, this next arc, we were gonna have no more Desire Grand Prix. And as I've talked about before, one of my favorite parts of the show is that we went like 9 episodes in and they were like, all right, bam, new DGP, new riders, like it's a whole it's like a status quo reset 9 episodes into the show. And I thought that was awesome. Like, I love that. And especially too, I love how it fits into the concept of the show, or like all the aesthetics, the way it works, like the battle royale theme. And then they're just like, we can make an entirely new Kamen Rider by putting a man or a woman in a black suit and sticking a new helmet on. Like, they literally, this is the third time we're looking at this helmet. First they repainted it, then they tore a piece off, and now it's 3 different riders. And I really like that. I think that's really cool. I really like the fact we can do it. I think it's super unique. I think it's super fun too, because we've got okay, so their names are Kamen Rider Lopo and Nudge Sparrow, I believe. There's some, we don't really have the official like English written names right now, but that's like how they're pronounced in Japanese. Obviously one's a wolf, the other's a sparrow. And like the Sparrow, Nudge Sparrow, is gonna be using the Monster Buckle. We've seen like 3 different people use the Monster Buckle now. It was one guy's base form for, like, Geats debuted it. It was one guy's base form for multiple episodes, Punk Jack. And now it's just this other guy's base form, presumably Nudge Sparrow's base form, because Punk Jack is dead, unfortunately. But and then not Nudge Sparrow. Lopo is going to be super interesting. First of all, another female writer. The cast's pictures aren't in these scans because this was before like they got announced in the show. But Lopo's a woman, which is pretty cool to get another woman writer in the show. Hopefully she doesn't die in the first episode. It seems like, okay, we're actually going to have 2 female writers on screen at the same time, because in the Letter and Naga, it felt like they killed Letter, and then they were like, all right, now we can bring in the other woman. Only one woman allowed at a time. But no, this time we have 2 at the same time. So maybe Lopo will survive a little bit longer because they've clearly made diversity leaps. So Lopo is going to be using 2 buckles. She's going to be using, at least next episode, she's going to be using Zombie, which is pretty cool because obviously it's been Buffa's base form this entire time, and now she's stealing that. Now it's hers because Buffa is dead, but not really. Which I'll talk about in a second, I guess. And then meanwhile, she's also going to use Ninja. And I'm super interested how she gets to using Ninja, because that's Keiwa's base form. Like, we've seen Keiwa, in the next episode, Keiwa's using Ninja as his base form. But then, like, Lopo seems to have more marketing in this magazine as Ninja than she does as Zombie. And if you look on the left, we've got the 5 writers in the DGP right now. Geats Empowered Builder. Wonder what weapon he's using. But anyways, Nudge Sparrow's in Monster. Nago's in Beat. But then Lopo's in Ninja. And Tycoon is an entry somehow. Like, if you look, he's not using an armed weapon. He's got nothing. He's an entry. So first of all, it's like, how did he do that? Because it seems like they can't really get into entry somehow, or they kind of can, but not really. But it's like he's just he's just completely naked, and she stole his form. But yeah, I don't know. I really love this. Like, I really love how we can, like, it's a new year and we're like, bam, here's 2 new writers. Like, they're just using other people's base forms. Like, I don't know. I think it's super cool. I do wish we had more armed buckles, though, because it seems like armed buckles are kind of being phased out, even though there's still a few. Like, the Gigant buckles are, like, kind of close, but not really. So, yeah. He might be in Raising. I don't think he's in Raising because they would have him holding the sword if he was in Raising. They would be like, look, sword. I mean, like, Raising is... The sword is built into Raising, so... Oh, another bot. Hello, bot. How are you? How are you doing? Are you doing good? I hope you're doing good. Anyways. Bots, more like playing Fortnite. Me in Fortnite, they're all bots. Have I seen Ryuki yet? I have not seen Ryuki yet. Please, Toei, don't kill them off in exactly 1 and 3 episodes respectively. I think that I think they'll survive at least 1 episode, it seems, because well, we know they're both in the next episode. And then on the top left, that looks like a shot from the episode after, because Geats is going to be starting the next episode in Boost. So then, and then he's getting Powered Builder throughout the episode. So it seems like, at the very least, they'll they'll survive a episode. So at least they're both doing better than Letter. Hey, that rhymes. Have I seen Dragon Knight yet? No, I have not seen Dragon Knight. Lopo, a few of you have been pointing that out, and I will address it. Lopo and Nudge Sparrow's core IDs are being sold with, like, a magazine pack-in thing. I bought it. It doesn't come out until February. I have purchased it. You will see it in a video. The thing is, I bought it on on Amazon Japan through Bai. So it's going to be like part of a Bai unboxing. So it might be a Bai unboxing with Geats stuff or something. I'll find a way to like show it off in a Geats video for sure. Unless that is a Geats video. Let's see. We'll see where that goes. It feels like they're kind of phasing out the Fever Buckle too, because Nago never uses it and Buffalo's only use it for Propeller. That's one of the weird things about Geats, I feel. Like, because we've had this reset of the game, no one has any more gimmicks, I assume. Unless, well, because of the way it ended. Okay. Well, this is kind of weird. So, the episode ended, or no, the Desire Grand Prix ended, essentially. So it's like a new round of the Desire Grand Prix that we're watching, but I don't know. But the other one, like the world didn't reset with the other one, so I don't know if they all lost their equipment or if they all got new ones, because it would make sense if they all kept it, because Nago still has beat Ninja, or Tycoon briefly had Ninja until the woman got it. But then Nudge Sparrow, like, obviously comes in and they get Monster, and then Lopo's gonna get Zombie at first. So, like, if it's a reset like usual, and then they get the buckles back, it's kind of this weird thing where it's like we got two big power-ups shown off in the show, and then it's gone. They're both gone now. Same with Glare. Like, we got a whole new villain introduced, and then he's also gone. Like, we don't know when that suit's coming back. We don't know when Fever's coming back. We don't know when Command is coming back. And I mean, as someone who's buying the toys, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I would like to see the toys I bought get used in the show. But on the other hand, I think it's really interesting in the show that we can have, like, one thing. I think my favorite part of Geats, if I had to like pin it down to one, is that it's playing like super fast and loose with like usual Kamen Rider stuff. Like it's called Kamen Rider Geats, but Tycoon was kind of our main character for like the first half. And despite that, they got rid of him for multiple episodes for a period of time. So it didn't care he was the main rider, or it didn't care like that he was our protagonist character despite not being the main rider. It gave us like our focus on him and then still got rid of him. The show doesn't care that Geats was a he's the main character, like his name is the title of the show. It still retired him for an episode. The base forms mean nothing in the show. We've seen Geats use we've literally seen Geats use Magnum Boost 3 times. That's like, one of those was to premiere. Like, that's literally where we're at. The show, the base form means nothing in the show. Other riders' base forms like mean nothing, because like Geats and Buffa like used each other's base form buckle for like 3 episodes, which is super awesome. Now we're at this point where Tycoon's base form buckle is gonna be someone else's. Punk Jack's base form buckle is also someone else's, but that's also because he's dead. But also, even then, like, we can introduce a character like Punk Jack as like a one-off character, and then reveal, no, he's gonna be a mainstay for a few episodes, and then they're like, oh no, he's a mainstay, but now he's dead. We're not gonna see. Well, he's probably coming back, but he's still dead. Like, we still got the shock of like they actually killed like two main cast members technically, like, in a row, which is like super crazy. I think it's super interesting how the show's just messing with everything. Even like this, it kind of feels like Geats is going to be using Powered Builder as his base form for a while. Like there's no, like, this is the only picture of Magnum we get in this upcoming upcoming month at least. So it kind of feels like Powered Builder becomes his base form. And I think it's super interesting that it's like they don't care. Like, who cares about the marketing? We have to show the base form, or we have to show this. It's like, no, he's just stuck in this form. Like, he has no other buckles. He's stuck using this this power up form, and I think that's super neat. So I love Geats, if you couldn't tell. And Glare too. Like, I love how Glare feels like they're doing what Revice was trying to do with Veil. And I hate to compare. But at least, like, with Veil and Revice, when they introduced Veil in the one episode, and then, like, kind of separated Gensa and Veil for a bit, what I thought they were going to do was we were going to build up to, like, Veil, the demon, reacquiring the Kamen Rider Veil powers. Like, I felt like they were like, here's this super powerful threat, and he's gone. He's gonna come back, though. Like, we're building up to his return. It's gonna be super big when he returns, because he was such a big threat originally. And then he never came back. He literally had one episode in the entire show, and then he was a side special, like, character now. Maybe they're doing that with Glare again. But to me, at least, like, I love how they introduce Glare as this big threat. Like, he's literally the admin of the game. He's too powerful for all the other riders, but he's gone now. Like, they've gotten rid of the user, but the belt still exists. So presumably we'll see someone else become Glare. But, like, we've established this threat. Like, we've shown if someone had the Glare power set and used it, like, to their own ends, they would be pretty powerful. Like, the only way they were kind of somewhat pushed back was two command forms and Nago. But even then, like, they didn't really beat him. It was just the game, or is the game producer, like, stopping him and, like, firing him, I guess, whatever you call that. So I think that's super neat. Like, I really love how we've established Glare as this threat. And, I mean, maybe he doesn't come back and it's still... Then my problem comes back where it's like, okay, you made this rider and he's gone now. But I'm hoping that what they've done here is they've established Kamen Rider Glare as a threat. And we'll have to see if Glare in the future will be used for good, used for bad, whatever. I also think it's kind of interesting that Glare... Like, within the DGP, why does Glare exist? Like, why does the Game Master have access to this power suit? Like, if he's just overseeing the riders fighting Jamato? Like, is it a case of, like, oh, the riders are going to lose, I have to step in and defeat the Jamato? Or is it, like, maybe it is, like, if a rider gets too powerful, then they're like, I have to step in and stop this. Like, a rider gets too powerful and now they're just killing all the other riders. It's like, what if Oja was accidentally let into the DGP and he starts killing everyone, and it's like, oh, does Glare step in and, like, eliminate this player for breaking all the rules? I don't know. I am a little curious if they'll touch on that or whatever, because it seems like, you know, why can't he turn into a Kamen Rider? Although that kind of adds to, like, the whole sketchy nature of the DGP. Like, if it's supposed to be a fight for world peace, why do you have a dude that can save world peace and he chooses not to, right? Like, maybe that's the point of Glare. We'll see. Either way, I did pre-order that belt. Okay, so moving back onto the movie. I think is that the only picture? Oh no, here's a better picture. Perfect. Revi and Vice got Kamen Rider forms. Those are Kamen Riders. They got Kamen Rider Kamen Rider Geats forms. They turned into DGP riders. That's so cool. Like, everyone's been talking about how cool it is, and I've been, like, screaming about how cool it is. So I'm like, it's very hard to put into words, like, why this is so cool. Because it's like, okay, like, the main thing is that we've never had a Kamen Rider use a different season's belt. We've had, like, the main rider use a different belt in the show. Aruto used the Force Riser. What's his name? Drive used the Mach Driver to access his drive form. So it's there's precedent for a main rider switching belts. But there's never been a case where a Kamen Rider switches belts and use the belt from a different show. This is the the two protagonists of Kamen Rider Revice using the belt of the season after them. That is like in it of itself like crazy. It's like it's never happened before. Then the second part of that is that like they're not just using the belts and turning into Geats and Tycoon or whatever. Like they've got their own personal rider forms for the season after them. And then because it's Kamen Rider Geats, not only do they get to use, like they have their own unique rider forms for Geats, they're just stealing other base forms. Like they're using Nago and Punk Jack's base forms. That's just what's happening. We've got Kamen Rider Revice is using just the two main characters of Geats' base forms. Well, is one of them a main character anymore? Because he's gone. But anyways, either way, I think that's super cool. And especially too, like, it works so perfectly. Like, they had to have planned some of this out since the very beginning because it works so perfectly for them. Like, Vice using Monster, they use Monster because they can keep the blue eyes for Vice, so he still looks like Vice. But, like, Monster is a brawler form, which fits Vice's whole, like, thing where he just ran up to people and, like wrestled with them or something. Like, it fits perfectly with Vice's whole personality. And Revi, the colors work because, Beat gives red eyes, or, like, pink red eyes, and obviously Revi usually has pink red eyes, so it fits perfectly with that, so it still looks like Revi. Then the colors actually fit really well with Revi because they're blue and pink, which was literally Revi's color scheme in the original show. And then the form gives him an axe, the Beat axe. The main Revice weapon was an axe that could become a gun, but it was an axe. And there's a pun in there because Beat remix and Revice, the forms they could attain. So it's like, this is like a huge conspiracy. I'm like, they had to have planned like a little bit. They're like, what if we made this form work a little bit well for Revi and Vice? Like, right? There's no way this was like a huge happy accident, right? Because they developed these movies like a bit in advance. So there's no way that they sat there and were like, all right, we're gonna put Revi and Vice as DGP writers. We'll give them cores. How should we design these to fit with them? And then, like, I mean, because they can design it to fit with pre-established writers and then design their own writers that would work with that, right? Like, they could design this brawler form to work with Vice, and then they're like, all right, now we're going to make a writer that is a brawler, and he'll use that. Or two writers that are brawlers, because it's going around to everyone. And, like, the colors for Beat were, like, Nago is not blue and pink. This belt, or this form, is covered in blue and pink. So there's no way they were like, we'll make this form blue and pink. We'll give it an axe, and we'll give it to the blue and pink Kamen Rider, and then we'll put some gold on it, and now it matches Nago, and she can use it. I don't know. I mean, this is my random conspiracy. I feel like they had to have developed Revi and Vice's DGP forms alongside the development of Monster and Beat, because it just works so well. But even if they didn't, it still works so well. It still doesn't take away from how cool it is. I'm so excited for this movie, honestly, just for the fact, just to see Revi and Vice turn into DGP Kamen Riders, because that's so cool. Like, especially because, like, Ultraman's been doing stuff for this for a bit. I think G turned into he got G forms using the Zet Riser. So this is kind of like that, but like on a different level, because when he was using that, he just had a one new G form, I think. So I mean, I guess it's kind of similar, but this is like, I mean, this is kind of like fan fiction, I guess, where it's like, hey, what if we when people are like, oh, I'm gonna self-insert Kamen Rider in another show, and they designed the writer to look like their OC. This is kind of like that. It's like George if he inserted his OCs into Geats, I guess. So, yeah, super cool. I think this is last. Okay, this is just. I probably should have looked at this earlier. This is just a bunch of Geats form images. I just wanted to include it to show, like, I really like these forms. Like, I think it's super cool just like looking at this and like just going through it, and it's like, wow, like Geats has so many forms, but it doesn't feel like cluttered or crowded. Like Geats has a ton of forms, and I don't think like, wow, there's so many forms of Geats. What's like, wow, Toei's really selling themselves out or something, because like half of these are just him stealing other people's forms. Like, what, we've got zombie legs, and zombie boost. Those are all just Buffa forms. If we go to Buffa's on the left. Those are just some of Buffa's forms. Ninja legs, those are just tycoon forms. I don't know. Again, I really love these kids' aesthetics. It's so cool. This is like, I mean, I assume it's stuff you kind of already know. Everyone knows already. That's Sumari from Kamen Rider Geats. The top is kind of a recap of what happened in the latest episode. And then this middle stuff is what's happening next episode, where because Girori has been erased, I guess, now we've got a new game master, and then now we have sponsors for, well, we've always had sponsors. Now we've actually had the sponsors, I guess, publicly known, or at least known to us, the audience. And they are, I mean, there's one's a frog. I don't know why they've decided to make one a frog, but you know, it's fine. This is true. Who keeps letting the bots in? It's definitely not me. Guys, what? Come on, guys. The bots really need to give it up. Toku fans are just not gonna. They're not gonna fall for it. We're too smart for that. That's a lie. Anyways, yes, the new sponsor kid is the same actor from Superhero Senki, which is pretty funny. He's literally Shotaro Ishinomori in Kamen Rider Geats. So yeah, Geats has definitely been shaken up. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. Tycoon final form is Shinobi confirmed? Yes, because he's a ninja. Now we've got a frog. It's all one big Shinobi reference. It's literally, you can't argue against that. It's literally Shinobi. I'm gonna take a sip of water. And now I think it's time we move on to the main event. Oh, that's wrong. OHSAMA Sentai King-Ohger has been officially revealed. And yeah. Here they are, guys. Here's the suits. This was the first look at them. It's also a poster of the show. So, King-Ohger, there's quite a bit to talk about. There's like a bit to talk about, but there's also not a bit to talk about. So, I don't think I have this here. I do need to find, I have a thing I have to read off of for all of you. Well, it's the info about the show. It's the show info, so I can actually sound professional and stuff. So this is translated by Special Form 12. It's all our stuff about the show. So I guess I'll talk about this first, and then I'll get into my thoughts on the designs and stuff. So, new show, OHSAMA Sentai King-Ohger. Our heroes are kings and queens, or queen, whatever, governing 5 countries and coming together to form the world's strongest hero, combining kings with insect mecha motifs. Premieres March Premieres on March 5th at 9:30 a.m. on TV Asahi. So that will be, that means Donbrothers will end in the last week of February. Anyways. So our heroes are, okay, he's translated the names here, or some of them. No, wait. Anyways. Kuwagata Ohger is red, who's the king of Shugadam. Goddamn? Is that really Shugadam? Is that what's happening here? The blue ranger is Tonbo-Ohger, who is the king of Nskopa. It's hard for me to pronounce. Actually, wait, no, we have images. Here's red. We'll skip yellow. Here's blue. Tonbo-Ohger. Yellow is Kamakiri-Ohger, who is the queen of Ishabana. Papillion-Ohger is purple, and they are the king/queen/leader of Gokhan. And Hachi-Ohger is black, and they are the lord of Tofu, is the name of the, might be pronounced differently, but I'm looking at the name here and it's Tofu. And then we don't have any images of them yet, but apparently the enemies are the Earth Empire Bagnarok. Anyways, so we have somewhat detailed bios as well. So Kuwagata Ohger is, here's Kuwagata, based on the motif of a stag beetle, the king of Shogundam, known for being the strongest of the countries. It is the place where a powerful deity resides. He is a, quote, self-proclaimed, end quote, king. Tonbo-Ohger, based on the motif of a dragonfly, is the king of Nskopa, which is renowned for being the most technologically advanced of the countries. Kamakiri-Ohger is based on the praying mantis. Half of this I already said already, so I don't know why I'm repeating it. Her country is renowned for being a hub of the arts and medical treatment. Papillion is, their kingdom is known for being a land of ice and snow, so they don't contribute anything. And then Hachi-Ohger is based on the motif of a bee, and their country is renowned for being the land of agriculture. So everyone is somewhat useful to the world at large, except Purple's country, which is unfortunate, but whatever. The King-Ohgers wield weapons known as the OHSAMA, transforming swords that, alongside their transforming shields, the king's weapon, act as the mark of their kingship. They can use their weapons to communicate with the King-Ohger robots they ride and their guardian deity. Their guardian deity, oh, here's the sword again. Their guardian deity is known as Shugad, an insectoid mechanical life form who once protected Earth. The kings of each respective country continue to defend their own nations by communicating with the Shugad in Shugadam through their OHSAMA. Each King-Ohger derives power from a Shugad, which obviously matches their bug motif. So we got God Kuwagata, God Tonbo, God Kamakiri, God Papillion, and God Hachi. Furthermore, these 5 Shugads will combine with God Tento. That's Donbrothers. Oh, I think I'm missing an image. Give me, wait, technical difficulties. Look at the King-Ohger mecha in the meantime, everyone. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep. No, there is. This image is here. It just does not want to show up. That's mighty unfortunate, everyone. Wait. There we go. Here we go, everyone. I think there's another one too. Let me add that one in as well. Wait. This one. Bam. Okay, everyone. You didn't see anything. Furthermore, When these 5 shoe gods combine with god Tento, a ladybug, god Kumo, a spider, and god Ant, the King-Ohger is born, a mechanical life form powerful for the kings themselves to ride upon into battle. It'll be written by Minato Takano, who wrote Kamen Rider. He wrote a couple episodes of Kamen Rider 01, but he also wrote almost all of the side content for Kamen Rider X-Aid, which would be Heisei Generations, the Snipe miniseries, the Laser Hyper Battle, I think the Paradox Hyper Battle. I don't know about the Paradox Hyper Battle, actually. But definitely the movie, the Brave spin-off as well. So the Brave, Snipe, and then Laser ones, along with Heisei Generations, he wrote those. It'll be directed by, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but he directed Ryu Soldier, or an episode of Ryu Soldier or 2. And then they will deliver an epic scale action fantasy series unlike anything you've seen before. And there's also other people who I don't know. So, and I think we learned about the music today or the other day as well. And it's going to be the music composer is going to be the composer of Ghost and 01. So if you liked Kamen Rider Ghost music, if you liked Kamen Rider 01 music, maybe you'll like King-Ohger music. So, King-Ohger. What do we think, everyone, of King-Ohger? So, let me get rid of these images for a second so we can go back to the team image. Everyone all together. I like these suits. So that main thought is I like these suits. I look forward to seeing them for a whole entire year. However, I don't love them. Basically, they feel like really plain to me. They just like, because they're very, very like their color. Like red is pretty much entirely red. Same with all the others. They're pretty much all entirely their colors. They have like the little accent like cloth material, which I actually do really like. I really like that little cloth piece down their legs and stuff. But they feel very, very their color. Yeah, they need a secondary color. My thing is like honestly, the straps for their chest piece could have been silver or black. The pieces like on their side, the sides of their legs, the thing on their chest could have used some silver or black. I guess maybe not black, because then what do you do for this guy? So I guess silver. Like silver or some other color. Would have liked if they had a little bit more of an accent color, a little bit more silver. Other than that, like I really like the suits. Like, don't get me wrong. I think they could be better, but I do really like them. I think they look great. Especially too, I love the mantles on their sides, on their shoulders and stuff. That looks really great, especially in this shot where yellow and purple have got it like flaying out. Like somehow yellow has it like behind her, so it looks like a cape more than like a mantle on her shoulder. I think that's really neat. I think it looks really cool. Although the helmets I don't love as well either. Some of them I do. I really like Kamakiri. Honestly, Kamakiri might be my favorite suit of the 5 right now. I think the helmet is pretty cool. I love how the mantis pieces are the like part of the visor. And as someone pointed out, like I feel like the secondary color like actually feels noticeable for her. So she actually feels like she has a color breakup. It's not just all yellow. But then the others, I mean, I like blue is pretty good too, but I definitely feel like he could have used more accent. Black is weird because I like the black suit, but I really do not like how they've got the yellow bee, whatever the butt part of a bee is called. I like the concept of it being the face and they've got it on the visor. But why is it yellow? I mean, I know it's yellow because bees are yellow, but it looks so distracting. Like, it's such a weird visor for the dude to have, and I don't really like it. Like, I think they should have just made it silver. Like, you still get the concept across. It's a bee. It's the stripes of a bee, but it's kind of distracting with the yellow. And then purple's pretty standard as well. Red is kind of weird though, like, because Red's helmet is like, the visor is the whole face, or no, all their visors are the whole face pretty much, and I do like that. But like with the others, like, there's this kind of clear like differentiation between like the eyes and like the other parts, I guess. I don't know, like, there's something about Reds, like Reds, it feels a little bit different, the helmet, and it kind of feels strange to me. Like, I think it's because like all the others, they have like the middle part of the bug is the visor, the eyes, and then they've got a part above that. But for Kuwagata, they've got the top part is the eyes, and then there's just these 3 random segments below that, and it looks kind of weird. So I'm not loving Red's helmet. I don't know. I don't want to say like I'm not loving the suits, because I do. I like the suits. I will be looking forward to seeing these suits in action. And I mean, seeing the suits. I mean, when I saw the suits for the first time, like, I woke up and I immediately checked to see if King-Ohger was revealed. And I saw these suits and my jaw dropped. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see this. And then, I mean, I still believe that. Like, I'm still excited to see King-Ohger in action. But I am just like, part of me is like, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is I like these suits, but they're not my favorite Sentai suits. Like, if we go back a year to Donbrothers, I will probably say I prefer the Donbrothers suits overall. I think they look better. But I do like these dudes. They look cool as well. Yes, the shields. The shield's pretty neat. So I really like how we've got this team. Well, first of all, just giving them a shield weapon in general is pretty cool. I like that we've got, like, it's kind of neat to have this kind of team weapon again. I mean, I guess they're all using the same weapons. But I mean, I guess the sword's their henshin device, so of course they all have it. So it's kind of neat to have one weapon they all share, and it all has different modes. It's like Q-Ranger. I think it's pretty neat, and having it as a shield for kings wielding swords is pretty cool. And I do really enjoy how they all have different modes on it. Red's is just a sword, which is kind of... I feel like every time you're like, we need to give the Red Ranger a unique weapon. Let's give it a sword. Okay, yeah, let's give it a sword. Yellow's is kind of weird because it's like supposed to be a scythe thing, and it's like that. This is just a shield with a thing sticking out of it, right? It's not much of a sword or a scythe. Blues is a blaster, which I don't know if they even transformed the shield at all for that, but hey, it works. Black is a claw, which they definitely transformed. That looks good. And the crossbow thing, arrow bow, whatever you want to call it. It looks cool as well. So the scythe is kind of weak, but other than that, I think the different modes look pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think they transformed the shield for blaster mode. But not that it matters. It's just kind of funny. It's like, wait, guys, that's just the shield on its side. But hey, there's a gun underneath it. Okay, neat. Guns go crazy. So, do I think Geo will appear to promote King-Ohger like Den-O did for Donbrothers? I don't want to say no, because no one thought the Den-O Donbrothers thing would actually happen. So maybe they will. I don't know if they will, though. I would say it's less likely than Den-O Donbrothers, just because Den-O is so popular that they were like, well, we have to do something with this. I don't know how popular Geo is in Japan to where they were like, we have to include Geo in a little thing. So the sword is pretty neat though as well. Like, okay, because it's like, Well, first of all, we're not getting like a team gimmick. It seems like there's no gimmick this season. But the sword is like, it seems like they're all gonna have unique transformations with it. Like, at least my assumption. So like, if we go to Cure Major, they didn't have a gimmick for the Cure or for anything. So the Cure Changer, when you changed, they all had the same sound, right? They all made the same sound to transform. Which, I mean, to be fair, most Sentai, they have like the same jingle and then they add an extra bit. So the Cure Changer makes the same sound for everyone because there's no way to detect which ranger's using it. Meanwhile, Donbrothers and Zenkaiger have gimmicks, so the gun is able to detect who is using it and it therefore give them a unique jingle sound, whatever. So for this thing, there's no gimmick, but it kind of seems like they might give them all like a unique way, like their own unique transformations. Because they wouldn't stick like all of the bug pieces on it for random. I mean, it's not random, it's the motif of the show, but it feels like they're doing it so like everyone's gonna have a unique way to activate it. Like, my assumption looking at this is like the red King-Ohger, when he has his sword to transform, he's going to pull this red piece like a lever, and then he slashes or pulls the trigger or whatever, and now the sword makes like King-Ohger transformation sounds. Like, it'll maybe probably do the same generic jingle and then Kuwagata or something, something like that. Meanwhile, Blues looks like another lever. Like, he pulls that different lever, and now it's his transformation. Black looks like he twists a thing. Yellow looks like she pulls a thing. Purple, I have no idea what that is. Maybe it's another lever you pull to the side or something. But it does kind of look like they all use the same transformation weapon, but they activate it differently. So they like, there's no gimmick. Right, okay. They all use the same weapon. There's no gimmick, but there's still a way to differentiate who's transforming with it. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that's obviously, this is just me assuming. Maybe they will all make the same jingle. Maybe all of that's just like pieces that don't do anything. But if I'm right, I think that's a pretty unique and interesting way to give everyone a unique transformation jingle, while using the same weapon with no like functionality with a gimmick. So yeah, I like the sword. What is this thing called? Like the Oja calibers, I think is what I said. So it looks cool. The mecha though, this is okay. Yeah, we have to pull up a different image. Where's that image? Here we go. No, I already used that one. Let's look at this one. Legend Power is what it says on the bottom right. The mecha is super cool. I love this mecha. It looks cool. I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't know. First of all, I think it's very funny that obviously Yellow is being suit acted by Ayumi Shimazono, and this is going to be the third year in a row that she suit acts a woman Sentai Ranger. And the Ranger has a right leg in the robot. First it was Majin, then it was Oni's sister. Now it's King-Ohger. I don't know, or sorry, Kamen-Ohger. I don't know how that is how that keeps happening, but I guess she's truly the right leg of the Super Sentai franchise. I guess you could say that doesn't make sense, but you can't dispute my point. So, yeah. But I think it's super unique that we've got like a 10-piece mecha as the base form robot. Like, that's super badass. Like, that's so interesting to have like five of the 5 Rangers have their own mecha, but they can't form the mecha. They need like 5 just random little pieces. Like, it kind of feels like, I don't know if anyone is aware of Transformers. Well, obviously you probably know of Transformers, but in the first Transformers, Generation 1, they released Devastator, the Devastator Combiner. And the Constructicons that make up Devastator could not combine together without these extra pieces. Like the Constructicon set came with a set of extra hands, or like a set of hands you attach to two of the robots that make the limbs. There was like a whole waist piece that you would attach the robots to in order to have them connect. Whereas like nowadays, Transformers combiners are like, you transform the robot and it makes the waist as well, like in addition to the chest. There's no extra piece you bring in for that. So I think it's kind of interesting we've got that going on here. That we've got... Yes, Devastator also had a chest plate. This really is just Devastator. But yeah, Devastator also had a separate chest plate you had to attach in order to complete the look. So there were like these different pieces you had to bring in to fully complete Devastator. And it's kind of like the vibe this gives me. Like you've got the 5 Rangers, but they can't form their base mecha without these extra little parts that give us the hands and give us the chest pieces and stuff. So I think it's kind of cool, like how that works, because I think like they found this middle ground, I guess, of like the Dawn Brothers mecha, where they designed them with the combination in mind. So they were kind of weird, like individually. Like Oni's sister had a foot hanging off of her butt in the toy, and now she was a brick. Don Momotaro was like a brick, but then you bring them all together and we've got this perfect, or not perfect, but you've got like a fully articulated mecha. So this kind of feels like they're trying to do that again, but like to the next level. Like none of the main Ranger mechas are gonna have like hands sticking out anywhere or something, because they've got 2 little ladybugs that are literally just made to be hands. Like their whole purpose is to be hands. They've basically made like an accessory pack to work with the robot, but as a result it'll give us like a much more cleaner looking robot toy, I think. And just, I mean, I'm kind of talking about it as a toy, but like as the show, thinking about it, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of cool to see like 10 robots come together to form the base robots. I think that will be neat. And other than that, I mean, I think it looks cool, as I've said. I really like the big Kuwagata horns. He looks a little upset, but it's fine. I hope he gets happy. And then the big Kuwagata horns, like forming the chest piece is neat. I like the wings, the dragonfly wings on the back. The one thing that does annoy me is that Papillion is just the sword. It's like in Kira Major. One thing about Kira Major that bothered me is that Blue was just a sword, and all the other auxiliary mechas were also just weapons. So it was super weird that it was like this robot is one of them, or this Zord is one of the main components of the main Megazord, but he's also functionally the same as all the auxiliaries. And I think from the rumors, we're also going to be getting weapon auxiliaries again, so it's kind of weird that one of the main Rangers is just a piece you stick on the front of the sword. Like the ant just being a part on the sword, I don't really care, because it's just a little ant mecha. Like, that's its whole point. I think it's kind of weird that the butterfly is, like, its whole purpose is being a little hilt on the sword. Like, it's not even, like, a functional part of the sword. It's just, like, a piece on the front of the sword. That's kind of sad. But, oh well. Imagine being part of a Power Rangers or a Sentai team, and you're like, oh my god, I got my own Zord. That's so cool. And you're just the part that sticks on the sword. Like, that's all you contribute to the mecha. Would probably suck, honestly. Could King-Ohger be connected with Zenkaiger, Donbrothers, or will it be its own universe? I believe from, I think, this image or something, that the Earth of the King-Ohger show is literally just the 5 kingdoms that the 5 King-Ohgers are a part of. So it would have to be a different Earth, because that's not how, at least as I'm aware of, there's not only 5 continents on Earth. I think there's 7, and none of them are called tofu. So yes, I it is a different universe according to the scans, which is a universe or Earth made entirely up of the 5 continents that the Rangers lead, which is gonna be interesting. I think it's cool. I also I really like that. I hope this is gonna like continue being a trend. Like each Sentai is just its own universe now. Like Donbrothers is clearly its own thing. King-Ohger is clearly its own thing. To tie into Zenkaiger showing off all the different Sentai worlds, I think it would be pretty cool if every Sentai, or at least most Sentai, are just all in their own universe now. I think that would be neat. Papillion makes up the horns, does it? I did not know that. If Papillion contributes to the mecha in a different way, then good for him. I'm happy, or her. I guess that's the other that's the other thing we need to address. So, oh, there's a question. Hello, Thomas. I want to ask, is that shield weapon going to have everyone of the team or only one member of the team? I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, but the shield weapon is going to be used by everyone. Everyone has a shield weapon. They all have got what was it called? The King's Shield or something? They all have that. They can all use that. So they can all use that as a shield, or they've got their own little thingies about it. Who's my favorite of the rumored bios? I don't remember most of them. I think Yellow was like, okay, I only remember like Yellow was lazy unless she's saving people, and I like that. And Purple was mentally insane. She talks to, no, the rumor did say she. It said she talks to dolls and stays by herself. And that's gonna be a crazy person, and I'm kind of interested in that. How will they interact with normal people in the world? I am desperately interested in seeing how that will unfold. So I think it might be Purple, because are you okay? Do you need a friend? Is that what we're looking at here? So yes, the King-Ohgers have clear parts on their chests that show the individual logos for each of their kingdoms. That's something I really like. I really like that really neat like little design detail. Like, again, I don't hate these suits. That's a really cool little detail to include in all of them. And it gives them all like this really distinct flair. Like, they all have this little different crystal chest piece that like links them together because they all have something there, but they're all like wildly different designs from each other. So that's really cool. So again, back to Purple. The big thing was Purple. So so the wording of the bios and the stuff say that Purple is a king. It says king. I think people that understand Japanese said that like red is definitively a king. That's what it says. Yellow is definitively a queen. That's what it says. For some reason, black is referred to as a lord. Whether or not that means, though, I mean, we don't know what that means, but they're referred to as a lord. They could just be the way they refer to themselves rather than king or queen, because lord is just kind of the same thing for that. And in blue and Purple use like the same like gender neutral term for king and queen, I think. Blue is obviously a male, so you can kind of get rid of that. But Purple is a bit different because, I mean, I'd say it looks like a man in the suit. Maybe there's like some people have zoomed in on other images of Purple and have discovered certain properties that a male would have in the suit. So Purple seems like it might be a male suit actor, but then there's rumors that Purple's a female suit actor as well. And then in addition, people who have seen the toys for the show have said that Yellow and Purple have the same body mold. And obviously Yellow's a woman. You can clearly tell Yellow's a woman looking at her. And the thing actually calls her a queen. So Yellow's clearly a woman. So if Purple has the same body mold, that would make her a female, at least in terms of body design, proportions, toy proportions. So there's this fun little game happening on that everyone's playing, which is, what gender is the Purple Ranger? Are they male? Are they female? Are they non-binary? Some people think. Is there something else happening here? Like, is it like like, oh, don't hit the mic. I've seen a bit of speculation, like maybe it's something like queens aren't looked up on in that world or something, so it's a woman, but they're pretending to be a male, like in universe. They're saying like in universe it's a guy. People think it's a guy, like a king, but they're actually a girl. So the suit would be a woman, but then why are people seeing other things? Maybe it's a femboy. That's definitely possible. Someone said. Personally, I hope it's not a guy. Basically, because like just a straight man, because I mean we've gotten that would mean we've gone 3 Sentai in a row with only one girl on the team. And then especially if you discount Kira Major as well, then like we've gotten like 4, no, not, yeah, if in the last like 5 years we've gotten 4 Sentai with only one girl on the team, which is kind of bad. I mean, it's not like it affects the quality of the show, but it's just like, come on, guys, you can have more girls on the team. Obviously, we probably can't have a majority of girls on the team of a boys' show, but you can, or at least an equal distribution, but you can at least have 2. So, I kind of, like, if it's a non-binary person or something to that extent, that would be perfectly fine, because technically then there's only 3 guys on the team and 2 non-guys on the team, and it would also be neat for representation. But I hope it's not a guy. Yeah, I already explained myself. So do I think King-Ohger will be a Luca Milfi type of character? I hope not. I haven't seen Gokaiger though. I assume you'd be like a tomboy character, maybe. Also, it doesn't help that none of the girls don't have skirts this season, which is actually cool. I do like that, but it's all, usually our one thing that's like, okay, that's a woman. They have a skirt. That's gone. So you can't really tell. Kamen Rider, kind of crazy. Kamen Rider has had more female representation than Sentai for 2 years running. That's actually a bit true. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there's only like one female rider in like there was only one girl in, no, there were 2 girls at one point in Saber. Yeah, I guess. What, yeah, we had 2 girls in Revice. Yeah, that's true. We've had Kamen Rider has had more female riders in each show than Sentai has had female rangers, kind of, right? Because, I mean, Flint was a ranger for half an episode. Does that count? I'll leave that up to you. Also, some people have been assuming like Black could be non-binary or not conforming to male-female gender because of the Lord title, because Lord isn't, I mean, it's not king or queen, so it could be other, but I'm not sure to what extent that would, I mean, Lord could just mean they don't call themselves a king, they just call themselves a lord. So is Black Ranger based on Wasp, a bee, or Hornet? Well, first of all, those are all the same thing. Second of all, I believe it's a Hornet? No, bee. Actually, I don't actually know, it turns out. But those are all, to me, I'm stupid, so those are all like the same thing to me. A Hornet's just an angry bee. Same with a Wasp. They're both just angry bees. We do have, 4 females in Geats? We have 3. 3 female riders, of course, unless Sumuri becomes a rider, because, it's Kamen Rider. Everyone becomes a Kamen Rider at some point. Do we count Tsukuyomi? She appeared in the Geo crossover. She also appeared in the show itself. So they would be lady if they weren't male, I think. That's true, yeah. Lord, lady. Yeah, that's true. So it probably is just a guy. The Black Ranger is Hachioger. Hachi is the Japanese word for bee. Okay, yes. So he is a bee. Even though he looks very angry, he's got like big bushy eyebrows that are just judging you. He is a bee. Look at the King-Ohgers. Look at them. They seem like they'll be a fun bunch. Actually, I think one of the official Twitter posts or something like said like these are all number 1 or like they're all kings. So let's see what happens. So I think it's gonna be kind of like I feel like they'll butt heads a lot, as they're all leaders of a different kingdom except for Red maybe ? So it'll be kind of interesting to see them all like butt heads because they're all like the top in a way. So what will the 6th be? I don't think we have any any info on the B. Or sorry, not the B. We don't have any info on the 6 right now. What we do know is that, we basically know at this point because it was part of the same leaks that like told us a bunch of stuff that are already like that's real. So apparently, in the first quarter of stuff, we are going to be getting like a silver stag ranger, which Red is also a stag. So we're getting some other same bug ranger, and we don't know like what they are. Like we just know they are a stag beetle that goes with Red. I think the action figures of the Rangers, Red's in a pack with Silver. So they're definitely linked. I mean, they're both stag beetles, so they would obviously be linked in a way. But they're linked in the toy line even to the point where they're released together. So I'm interested to see what does he have to do with that? Why? Because we know Red is a quote self-proclaimed king end quote. So there's a bit of speculation like is Red like, or like I think there was one like was Silver like the original king and then they died and now Red is like taking over or something. But it would be kind of weird to release a toy to someone who dies immediately. So I don't know. We have a super chat from Adam. I think that's €5. Either way, greatly appreciated. Thank you, Adam, for the super chat. He says, I really hope that the 6th is the real queen of Red's kingdom, as apparently he is only the self-proclaimed king of the country. Yeah, they'll definitely address the self-proclaimed thing a bit. I don't know if it'll be it could be the 6th. If it's not the Silver Stag, maybe it is the 6th. Although I think it's interesting you say the 6th is real queen. Well, I mean, this is your hope, so I assume you're hoping that we get a Red or female 6th Ranger, which I can't blame you for. It would be cool to get a female 6th Ranger, but I don't think that will happen. But yeah, I think Silver will play into whatever mystery is going on with who, Red being the self-proclaimed king of the kingdom. Silver, I think, will address that a bit. We don't have any info on the press conference right now, I should point out. So we don't know when we'll learn more. I assume the reason they haven't said anything is because they're going to cameo in Donbrothers, like Donbrothers cameoed in Zenkaiger. Because otherwise, the press conference probably would have happened in February, or sorry, It would probably happen in January, and they would have probably announced it already. But then if they're cameoing in Donbrothers, then they would probably wait until closer to the cameo to be like, hey, after this cameo, you can go see the press conference on this day. But granted, Geats also just randomly waited like 3 weeks after the show was announced to announce the press conference, which was like in another week. So maybe they're just waiting again to have the press conference announcement. Toei is weird sometimes. You guys know how Toei is. Are the cast going to be revealed at the press conference? Yes, that is how that always works. The cast, the press conference thing is mainly just revealing the cast. Will the show have an ending or intro dance? We also probably won't know that until the press conference, because right now that's pretty much just aesthetic stuff and like very vague character bios is what we've got. If Black was a hornet, he would be called Suzume Bachioger. That is quite a name. Almost as weird of a name as Nudge Sparrow. Oops, wait, that's a real thing. Could alt version of another Zenkaiger or a Donbrothers member in it as a mentor like Donbrothers has in Kaito? I don't think we're gonna get another Donbrothers like Zenkaiger Black thing. It has been in zero rumors that we're getting a returning Ranger. Rumors and leaks, which are the leaks which are true, and rumors which are just kind of somewhat true. Nothing has mentioned that we're getting a Zenkaiger Black kind of thing. So I'd assume they only did it for like the Zenkaiger, because Donbrothers is a sequel to Zenkaiger. That's the only reason they were connected to each other. Remember the King-Ohger rumor about swappable armor? I do remember that. I'm still holding out hope for that, honestly, because of the way the sword works. Like everyone, if the way the sword works, or if the sword works the way that I was talking earlier, where you activate the specific insect part and then you transform into that ranger, theoretically everyone would have access to each other's insect part. So maybe like they can still armor swap. Like if red activates the yellow piece, he could armor swap with yellow, even though like theoretically that would just kind of turn him into Kamen-Ohger, like from a toy perspective. Or maybe it's like Tokuger. You can henchman into your ranger, and then if you activate another piece, then that would armor swap with him. Because I feel like it's definitely less likely, because I don't think the toy line leak said anything about armor swap, and they probably would. But I feel like they could do something with the armor swap, like maybe the mantles swap or something, because they all have access to each other's like transformation segment piece thing. It looks like it's going to be in a fantasy setting and maybe CGI mecha battles in the strange or exciting locations. Well, we know the mecha is... Well, these mecha definitely are CG, but the actual mecha is a physical suit, so... I don't know. It would be a lot of work to have him, like, in a CG environment the whole time. Unless it's like Donbrothers, where it's, like, mostly practical and then there's, like, a CG background or something. The main logo is kind of like Ghost Sager, where it's made up of 5 individual logos. Yes, that's true. Is there a picture of the logo somewhere? I mean, we got the show logo, but I'm not sure if I have a clear picture of the logo. But yeah, it does have like all 5 of their like insect parts like incorporated into it. I think that's really neat. Oh, I didn't notice that in this image the King-Ohgers are all accessing the different little bits on the... Oh, Blues has his entirely rotated. I didn't notice that. He has his the insect piece is entirely rotated on Blues, so I assume it's working. This is like confirmation that it's working the way I said it would work where red pulls the lever, blue twists it around 360. You can see yellow has her finger in the hook. So that's cool. I didn't notice that the magazine actually... I was speculating about something that the magazine said was actually going to happen. So, cool. I like that. What if the Fantasy Raise Buckle is Premium Bandai? We have no idea if that's the case or not. It could be retail, and it's just coming in later into the show as like another Rider's gimmick or something. I want to see Super Sentai do a 3-way crossover, like how Jewel of the World was in Lupat versus Q Ranger, but instead of just one Ranger, it's 3 whole teams. Like, for example, Zenkaiger versus Donbrothers versus King-Ohger. That would be cool, but but the thing of them, if they did that, would require, like for Zenkaiger versus Donbrothers versus King-Ohger, we would probably not get Zenkaiger versus Donbrothers, because otherwise it's just kind of redundant to just cross over King-Ohger with the Zenkaiger and the Donbrothers again. They've already met each other, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it feels like a little, like half of 2/3 of that is the same movie, like a movie we've already seen. So maybe, but they did do something like that in Mega Max and Kamen Rider. They brought back Double after he already crossed over with O's, and now he was crossing over with Forze. But I don't know. I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know what role Double plays in the movie. Maybe it's just a cameo at the end to transform and participate in the fight, because that I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it at all if we got Zenkaiger versus Donbrothers versus King-Ohger. I would not mind seeing the Zenkaigers come back. So I just don't know if they would do that. I think Fantasy is Geats' final form, or a part of it. I don't think that's the case. It seems like a very odd buckle to make the final form, because it acts like a normal race buckle. Like, it's on the same level as Magnum or Ninja. It has a boost combination as well. So I very much doubt they would have a normal raised buckle like that incorporated into Geats' final form, especially too because it's like Fantasy. Like, his whole thing is Magnum boost, unless he's stealing someone else's power up. It would be kind of weird for his final form to be stealing someone else's power up or something like that. On the HD King-Ohger poster, there is a small arrow on Yellow's part of the sword. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, like, there, you can see the yellow part. I know that I'm gonna have to buy the sword or whatever changer, or whatever their changer is. Their changer is the sword, so if you're buying the changer, you will have to buy the sword. Have fun. Is the 5-year plan a real thing? I have no idea. I do not work for Toei. I don't recall if Shirakura actually said that or not. So, Geats' final buckle could be like a 9-tailed fox. Actually, I might talk about the final form for Geats for a second, because I don't think I've talked about that, and we've gotten like we've gotten leaks, rumors about that. I'll address that in a second though, because we have a super chat from that man 666. First of all, thank you for the super chat. They said, I just hated how their swords resemble Saber Seiken's. Also, no Red Rider who mains a dragon within next 8 years, or else Ryuki will be put out of print. I mean, Ryuki's came back in a Geats movie, so I feel like he won't be put out of print for a while, considering they're like, we'll just randomly make him not randomly, it makes sense, but they're like, we'll just make him the main character of a modern day Kamen Rider movie. I can kind of see how they resemble the Saber Seikens. It definitely has like that. It definitely looks like the Seiken sword driver with the silver blade and like that technology detailing in it. But I personally like it. I think it looks cool. But I like the Saber Seikens. So, what do I think the Reiwa anniversary season? I don't know what you mean by that. Did you see that red has a green jewel? Apparently, it's something like the sign of a king. Oh yeah, I can see that there. It's on the side of his head. Is it on the side of his other head? I think so. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I think those are just the eyes of the Kuwagata. I think that's what that's meant to be, because they all have, you know, the eyes of the bug and stuff. Apparently, Glaire's gonna have an army of mind-controlled DGP players. Well, Glaire is gone for now, and yes, we did see he had. Well, he had 2 DGP players. I won't really say that was an army, but yes, he did have people. Is there going to be gimmicks for King-Ohger? No. There is no gimmick, no gears again, or whatever. It is the sword should be able to do all the transformation stuff with just the sword. I mean, the gimmicks of this season, I guess, might be like the bugs for the mecha, but they don't attach to the sword at all and stuff like that, so there's not really a gimmick in the normal sense. I won't be upset if the Silver Sag is literally Kuwagata Ohger but silver. I did not think about that. Maybe they'll do that. That would be kind of cool though. And then but then maybe they'll change the silver bits to like red or gold or something. That would be cool. That would be cool. If King-Ohger was Kamen Rider, then the 5 kingdoms would go to war with each other. Yeah, probably. When are Boost Mark 2 supposed to come out? Any new leaks or toy listings for either show? I believe we talked about the quarter 2 leak stuff a while ago, but I'm perfectly happy to reiterate it. So I believe in February we are getting the DGP gun transformation device that's supposed to be giving us a silver fox, red buffalo, green frog, and yellow lion Kamen Riders that transform using cards in the gun. Going off of the latest information for Geats, it does seem very likely that card transformation device or card gun transformation device is for the not for the staff like I've been saying, but it might be for the sponsors, because apparently the silver fox is called Gene, and the new guy showing, I think it was a blue and silver fox, and the new kid showing up sponsoring Geats, his name is Gene, and he's got a blue streak of hair, like blue silver. This frog is Keiwa's sponsor. We're getting a frog rider. What is his name? Neon's dad is probably gonna sponsor her, and Neon's a cat. The 2 bodyguards were also cats of some kind, so it would make sense if the one who is in charge of all of them is a lion, which is probably the most famous cat of all, or at least the most powerful, or however you want to look at that. And then lastly, we have the red buffalo, which could be Buffa returning back to life, or like he comes back and now he's a sponsor, or he just randomly gets the gun or whatever. But either way, you know, Buffa's gone in some way, so it kind of would make sense if he gets some new transformation device with that. So when I say blue and white Fox Rider, I am not talking about Lopo, because I would just say Kamen Rider Lopo. It's a different thing. We haven't seen it yet. Then in March is when we're supposed to be getting Boost Mark 2. That's what we know. Which somehow, I was originally thinking that it would be like he can use Boost Mark 2 and he gets a Boost Mark 2 form, or he can use the gun as a gimmick and he gets like Magnum Boost Mark 2. But I think some of the rumors say that the gun is used with Boost Mark 2, but like as a gun transformation device, not in the belt. So that would be interesting, because then it's, I mean, if that gives them a whole form, then that's like the first rider since Ghost to have like their super form accessed by not the belt. Like, you wouldn't be using the belt at all, I assume. Then recently we've got new leaks that the final form of the show is Boost Mark 9. And in the toys, we only go up to Boost Mark 3. And apparently, this same leaker said that Boost Mark 9 is already a sound in the belt. Like, you can get the belt to say Boost Mark 9. And they didn't tell us how. Very, very helpful. Thanks a lot. But apparently Boost Mark 9 is a sound in the Desire Driver. We don't know how it's accessed. The leaker made no mention of Boost Mark 3. So we don't know how Boost Mark 3 plays into things. So, yes, that is... that's where we're at with what's happening in Geats, or what we know / theorize is coming out with Geats. So personally, my thought was, if Boost Mark 9 is the final form, then Mark 3 is probably, like, it probably accesses that. Just how is the question. Like, is it Boost 2 and 3 together create Mark 9, because 3 squared is 9? Or is it just 3 in some random way activates Boost Mark 9 because 3 times 3 is 9 or something like that, Yes, it is a reference to the nine-tailed fox. Yes, it's definitely true. Very cool. But how? How and why? That's what I want to know. I've been, like, playing with my Desire Driver. I printed out, like, pieces to get Boost Mark 2 and 9, or sorry, Mark 2 and 3 in the belt. Haven't found how to access 9 yet, so it's probably some super dumb, clever thing that, like, no one's thought of, like just a magnet or something. But seems like we probably won't know until the toys come out, until like June, July is probably when we're getting the final form. So yeah. It would be cool if Buffa comes back with the Jamata buckle. Yes, it would be pretty cool. I'm so excited for what's happening with Buffa, because, like, when Buffa died, they didn't give him any flowers. They didn't have, like, any posts like, oh, we'll miss Buffa. And being Kamen Rider, especially Kamen Rider written by this writer, it seemed pretty obvious that Buffa was coming back at some point. So I love that they wasted no time showing that off. They're like, oh yeah, he is alive. Here he is. He's alive in quotation marks. We don't really know, like, to what extent what's happening, but we do know he's not dead to us, the audience. We will be seeing more of him, despite the other characters thinking he's dead. And I'm so happy they're doing that. Like, it's so interesting that we've finally beaten, like, this weird, like, the thing that this writer has done previously honestly, even, like, in Saber this happened, where they're like, we're gonna kill Jin, Laser, and Kento, where they're like, they act like they died. Kiria and Jin actually died, of course, and came back, but I guess with Kiria we didn't think he would come back yet, but with Jin definitely I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna come back, and he did come back. And then same with Kento, we're like, oh, he's gonna come back, and they did come back, both with a new form. And I think it's super cool that they've done the same thing here, but they're not wasting any time being like, oh yeah, he's coming back. But the way they've done it is they haven't revived him per se. He's in the weird Jamato limbo kind of thing. I think it's super clever. I'm so happy about it. Like, it makes me so excited, because it's like we're gonna be delving into this other part of the Desire Grand Prix that we don't know how it's working, but at the same time it gives Buffa, like, his own kind of storyline now, but, like, he's still dead to the other characters, so we've taken away the shock, but no one was shocked anyways. But, like, now it's being useful. I don't know how to describe it, but it's super, super exciting to me. Everyone's asking about the 5-year plan. The 5-year plan, I don't remember if Shirakura actually said this. Shirakura is the producer of Zenkaiger and Donbrothers. But I'm pretty sure he said it, because otherwise everyone wouldn't be talking about it. Where he said like they're building up to like the 50th anniversary or something of Sentai. So Sentai 45 was, let's make more than half the team are robots. Sentai 46, 2 of the dudes are CG. Sentai 47, bugs. They're all the same color or something. Like since Zenkaiger, they're doing like different things with Sentai, building up to the 50th anniversary where they're gonna go like all out and destroy the universe with Super Sentai or something. That's what the 5-year plan is. I don't know if that's someone pulled that out of their ass or Shirakura actually said that, but you know. Boost Mark 9 probably isn't the final form since it's a bit early for that info. Back in Saber, we got info on Primitive and Elemental around the same time. That's true, but we don't know. But then what is Boost Mark 9? Because we know that Boost Mark 2 is it's the super form twice, because it's a super form on its own and also with the gun in some way. So, I mean, it might be the final form. Like, otherwise it's like a random movie form or something. Especially, too, like, I think they probably are, like, have plans for that. So it would make sense. They're like, hey, look, here's Boost Mark 9. It's going to be the final form. So, what type of bird is the new rider based off of? It is a sparrow, because their name is Nudge Sparrow, which is a weird name, but, you know, whatever. I think the 5-year plan might be a modern Toku myth. Yes, it very well might be. I remember Heisei Phase 2 had a 10-year plan. We never knew what it was supposed to lead to. I don't think it ever had a 10-year plan, because there's nothing that came of that. I don't think it was, unless Decade was the 10-year plan. I don't think there was like a 10-year plan. Zenkaiger should have just been a team of humanoid androids, with Zenkaiser being a red-white ranger and Jurdan being a green and black ranger. No. I really hope that King-Ohger become a Power Ranger adaptation. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want it to be, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with Power Rangers adaptations at this point, because they're just stealing the mecha from a show now and making their own suits, which I'm perfectly fine with, but yeah. That's true. Heisei was they announced the end of Heisei like a little bit before build, or like during build or something, that the king was going to step down. And that's why Heisei Generations Final was called Final, because I thought it would be the last Heisei Generations, and then they were like, oh no, he's stepping down in a year. So then they still had another season that would be in the Heisei era, so then they're like, let's go all out and make Geo. They haven't officially said that ever, but like you can look at it and you're like, well, they announced Heisei was ending, then they made Heisei Generations Final, then it wasn't actually, and they gave the rider form changes that were like Decade, the previous Heisei anniversary season. Then Heisei kept going for a bit, so they're like, oh, then we got a rider that could do Legend. That was whole anniversary stuff. We got another Heisei Generations movie. So I don't know what this 10-year plan was supposed to be. I don't think anyone ever has a 10-year plan except for Kevin Feige, but he's insane. That's why he wears a baseball hat everywhere, so you don't see his brain like always doing weird fluid liquidation stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. Hasbro cut off the renewing rights, so I don't think they can use it. I don't know where you got that information, because they did not cut off the renewing rights. Simone Bennett himself said that they did not. They still have a fun and happy relationship with Toei Studios. How anyone can have a fun and happy relationship with Toei Studios is beyond me, but you know, I'm glad Simon can do it. Already trying to imagine what the wolf can be painted into next. Maybe a tiger or something. A tiger. I mean, I don't want to say no, because yeah, they could definitely pull it off as a tiger or something at some point. Yeah, I mean, maybe a tiger. Maybe they'll make it a weird, like a random, another kind of wolf thing. Maybe they'll make it a dog. Like they'll just paint it brown and now it's a dog. You know. Do you think we'll see Kyoryuger 10 years after movie? Yes, everyone. Apparently, Kyoryuger is very, very popular. I haven't seen it, so well, I mean, I don't have to see it to know it's popular. So yeah, they're probably gonna do a 10-year after movie and do a do a memorial changer. God damn, they're doing so many memorial stuff recently, but I guess people keep buying it and it makes money. So you know, you can't blame them. So yeah, I think they're gonna do, at the very least, they're probably gonna do a memorial Kyoryu changer. Because I think the original Kyoryu changer, I don't think was really bad by any means. Like it did everything it did in the show. But they could definitely upscale it to be somewhat show accurate. So there's that. And then they could add in King saying stuff. Again, I haven't seen King-Ohger. This is true. I haven't seen King-Ohger, but I'm actually talking about Kyoryuger. So, have I ever tried the Fire Emblem series? No. My only interaction with Fire Emblem is characters in Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Ultimate. Fox repaint? I mean, our main rider's a fox, so I don't think they'll have another fox using a different helmet. If they had another fox, it would probably be similar to Geats. I mean, we know we're getting a silver blue fox rider, but I assume this isn't that helmet for it. I don't think Kyoryuger is going to get it 10 years after, since they already have 100 years after. I mean, what's it called? Hurricaneger got it 20 years after, even though they got it 10 years after. So, I don't think having another blank years after movie really invalidates the existence of another blank years after. They'll do it anyways. So, oopsies. I'm gonna check if Twitter is in fact crashing, because that would be funny. Tweets aren't loading right now for my notifications. Oh, it's on desktop. Okay, so on mobile I'm fine checking on my phone. I thought I saw something. No. Okay, never mind. Anyways. Forza 10-year after anniversary. Well, the 10 years after would have been like last year? A couple years ago. And they didn't do anything for that. They just like had a cast reunion thing and they sang some songs and that was it. Do I think there will be a Gaim 10 years after movie? Oh, definitely. That 100%, because when they announced the CSM like 3 years ago, I think. Wow, that was, anyways. They said in that announcement, they were like, we are announcing it at the 7-year anniversary to build up to the 10-year anniversary. So I think they were like, so when we get to the 10-year anniversary, you can have all the CSMs or something. So they've been planning kind of a 10-year anniversary for Gaim for a while. So yeah, they'll definitely do some kind of 10-year anniversary for Gaim, especially too because the, what was it? The the Bravo Gridon special had that somewhat minor cliffhanger of the Sylphie rider surviving. The only reason I think that's interesting is because that's a rider using a Helheim Lockseed. Like, that feels like it should be a big deal, and she's just kind of a random person in a special. But the fact she gets away means the Lockseed still exists out there, and they probably could go on to use it in a big way in a 10-year anniversary. So yeah, I definitely think they'll do a Gaim, something for Gaim, especially too since they're not done with CSMs. They still have to do the energy driver, or the Genesis driver at least, and the energy lock seeds. So, have I seen the Donbrothers and Hurricaneger special? I have not. I probably won't watch it just because I haven't seen Hurricaneger, so I'd only be watching it to see Haruka do random stuff, and I don't really care to see Haruka. I can watch Donbrothers if I want to see Haruka do random stuff with characters I don't know. So maybe 20-year anniversary movie gonna do Kamen Rider Fies and also is connected with Kamen Rider Outsiders with Smart Brain Lady organization. Maybe. I mean, Ryuki's kind of getting the 20-year anniversary stuff with Outsiders and the Geats movie, since Oja's getting his Survive form. So maybe they'll do something for Fies. I mean, Fies is playing a part in that special as well, so it's very possible. Did I see the O's 10 years after? I did not, because I haven't seen O's, so I wouldn't watch a 10 years after movie for a show I have not actually watched at all. How long have we been going for? We've been going for like way too long. I'm kidding. 2 hours, 12 minutes. So probably I might wrap up a bit here soon. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because I have videos to work on. I did not say this up front like I usually do, so I'll tell you now, to the 85 of you still, or 80, is it 80 or 85? I've got two different numbers in front of me. Either way, to those of you still here, I am working on a end of the year, kind of like a year in retrospect, in review kind of video. I've never done something like this before, so I wanted to give it a try. I'm hoping I can get it done by the end of the year, but I don't know if that will happen, especially with time zones being a thing. Like, I'd have to get it done like on the 30th my time, and I don't think that will happen because it's the 28th right now. So well, that might be just like an early January video. We'll see what happens with that. And that would be different from the Q&A video that I usually do. I'm still doing that. That would be after. So I'm doing a couple like New Year's videos this time around, instead of just the one Q&A. So I'm happy. I'm excited about that. And I also, obviously, I have shorts. I have shorts to make. I have episodes to review. I've really enjoyed making shorts throughout the last back half of the year, because I've always wanted to review like episodes weekly, but if does anyone remember Talking Jujubee? Like, that was kind of my original attempt to review episodes weekly, but it definitely kind of got in the way of stuff. And then I moved that monthly, and then it just went away. So the shorts have kind of been finally me like finding a way to review stuff weekly, and it's been fun. So although it sometimes does get in the way of like actual videos, so we'll see what happens with that. Am I gonna watch Ryuki for Outsiders in the Geats and Revice movie? I am gonna watch Outsiders. I might review it when it's all done. Depends on what part Genmu plays and the rest of it, because then I could like kind of sort of consider it an X8 special, and that would give me an excuse to review it. But I probably will still watch the whole thing, because it does seem very interesting, even though I haven't seen Ryuki. Oja Survive is pretty cool, so I want to see that. And the Geats and Revice movie, 100%, I will be watching that and reviewing that once it comes out in a format I am able to watch it. What about Kuga 20 years after? 0% chance of that happening, because, well, first of all, it's been over 20 years since it came out, and the actor has not returned to Kamen Rider since it came out. So yeah. What do I think the fantasy race buckle will look like? I have no idea. It's like the sound it makes is like electricity and like a piano. So I have no idea. I have zero idea what it could look like. Any idea on Rider Potential X-Aid? No idea when that's coming out. I apologize. Hopefully next year. Next year is going to be the 5th Reiwa season for Rider, so I guess it's counted as an anniversary. They'll probably do a little something. I don't think, especially we just had Revice, before that we had Geo. I don't think they'll have like our Rider using past Rider powers until like Reiwa's 10th Donbrothers destroys the multiverse as a joke. I think they should destroy the multiverse not as a joke. Just destroy it. Thank you, Secret Agent. I'm glad you liked the shorts. Does Reiwa's 5th Rider count as an anniversary? I have no idea. Apparently Twitter is RIP. RIP to Twitter. Is Twitter gone? Let me see. I've just opened it on desktop and it's working fine for me. I don't know. It seems maybe I'm honestly, you guys need to get on my level. Twitter is perfectly fine for me. I'm kidding. Okay, well, I do trust Twitter is going wild, but it seems fine for me, so. What Sentai color combination would I like to see for the season after King-Ohger? Honestly, I don't care. I've never really cared about the color combinations because I like pretty colors and I trust they'll make pretty colors. So I'm never against the colors we get for Sentai. I didn't even mention like that this is like the first time we've gotten purple on a core team. That's pretty interesting. Everyone's thinking I'm saying electric piano music. I not say electric piano music. It's the sound of a piano, and then there's electricity. It's two different sounds like on top of each other. So, yeah. Imagine how insane the handoff between Donbrothers and King-Ohger will be. Don Momotaro will probably just kill Kuwagata Ohger. It's probably there's no other way I see that happening. The 5 Reiwa Rider could get a big crossover. Yeah, they might just do a normal Reiwa season and then cross over the 5 riders for the quote unquote anniversary. That might be happening. That definitely seems likely. Punkjack is like the Geats equivalent of Vice. That's true. They both do use the monster buckle, and they're both dead. Well, with that, I'm gonna go see if Twitter is dead. So, thank you everyone for tuning in to the live stream. As usual, ton of fun. So there will be another live stream next week because I have a lot of stuff I haven't been unboxing, and I kind of want to unbox it live. And one of those does include Kamen Rider Geats stuff, which I did briefly mention on Twitter. If you watched my recent Geats unboxing video, you definitely know what I was referring to on Twitter. If you don't know, make sure you subscribe because I've got a year 2022 in review video coming out soon. After that will be the 2022 Q&A video, which I still have to ask you guys for questions on. So be on the lookout for a community post to leave a question, or a Twitter post, or both actually. So be on the lookout for that, and be on the lookout for another live stream coming soon. And with that, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. And also, I guess this might be the last time we speak in 2022. So thank you for a wonderful year, everyone. I hope you have a happy new year as well, and I will see you in 2023.